Hey everyone, so are you ready for a deep dive today?
Always ready. What are we digging into?
Well, I was thinking we could use a little mystery in our lives.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Right. So let's talk cats and chocolate.
Interesting combo. I have a feeling this mystery might have a slightly more alarming answer than we're used to.
Yeah, if you're a cat owner, you've probably at least wondered about this, right? Like, can my feline overlord actually eat chocolate? And the answer, spoiler alert, is a big fat nope.
Definitely not for a midnight snack.
Not even a little nibble. And we're not just saying that. We've got like a whole stack of articles here from vets and experts, be it Chewy, PetMD, Purina, Hill's Pet. They all say the same thing. Chocolate is basically poison to cats.
And that's not even an exaggeration. It's actually kind of wild when you think about it, right? Like, we humans, we love our chocolate. It's delicious.
Right, total weakness.
But for our feline friends, it's like this weird, dangerous substance.
It really makes you wonder what's going on inside those little furry bodies of theirs.
Well, it all comes down to chemistry, really. There's this chemical in chocolate called theobromine. It's a stimulant naturally found in cacao beans.
Which is what? Like the base of all chocolate.
Exactly. So theobromine is in pretty much all chocolate to some degree. Now, we humans, we can break down theobromine fairly easily. Our bodies are like, okay, we got this.
We process it, no big deal.
Right. But cats, not so much. Their systems process it super slowly.
Like it's stuck in traffic.
Exactly. It just builds up and builds up in their system, and that's when it becomes dangerous.
So it's less about them being completely incapable of handling it and more about it becoming toxic because it hangs around too long.
You got it. And here's the kicker. The darker the chocolate, the more concentrated the theobromine. So your baking chocolate, your dark chocolate, those are the worst offenders for our feline friends.
Makes sense. Those are potent even for us.
Right. Milk chocolate has a bit less, but still risky. And before you even think it, white chocolate is still a no-go.
Even though it barely has any actual chocolate in it, right?
Exactly. Less theobromine, sure, but still loaded with sugar and milk, which can cause a whole other set of problems for our feline friends. And nobody wants a cat with an upset stomach.
Definitely not a fun time for anyone involved.
Yeah.
So it's not just about how much chocolate a cat eats. It's also about the type of chocolate.
100%. And to really hit that point home, I came across a fascinating example in one of these articles from Purina, I think. They were talking about an 8-pound cat.
Pretty average size for like a house cat.
Right. And they said that for a cat that size, even a tiny nibble, like 0.2 ounces of baker's chocolate, could be just as bad as eating a whole lot more milk chocolate over an ounce.
Wow. Really puts things in perspective.
It really does. It's all about that concentration of theobromine.
So we've established that chocolate is a big no-no for our feline friends.
A hard and fast rule for cat owners.
But what does that actually look like? What happens if a cat does eat chocolate? Like, what should we be looking out for?
Well, let's just say, if your usually calm and collected cat suddenly turns into a hyperactive, trembling mess.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's a pretty clear sign that something's wrong.
Yeah, that's definitely not the kind of party trick you want your cat breaking out.
Definitely not. And honestly, that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to chocolate poisoning symptoms.
Okay, so what else are we talking about here? Like, how do we know if it's serious?
So aside from the whole hyperactivity thing, you might see vomiting, diarrhea.
Those are never good signs.
Nope, not at all. And your cat might seem extra thirsty or need to use the litter box more often.
So basically, if they're acting out of character, that's our cue to be concerned.
Exactly. Trust your instincts on this one. And it can get scarier than just those common symptoms. We're talking seizures, an irregular heartbeat, even collapsing.
Okay, that's officially way past concern territory. So let's say the worst has happened. Our precious kitty got into the chocolate stash.
Huh?
What do we do? Do we just, like, grab our cat and run around screaming?
Well, running around screaming probably won't help much.
Good point.
The most important thing is to act quickly and call your vet immediately. Or, if it's after hours, an emergency animal hospital. Time is really of the essence in these situations.
It's like a 911 chocolate emergency.
Exactly. So have your vet's number handy. It could save you a lot of stress in the long run.
Okay, so we're calling the vet ASAP. What about while we're waiting? Is there anything we can do in the meantime?
The best thing you can do is be prepared to give your vet as much information as possible. What kind of chocolate did your cat eat? How much do you think they ate? When did it happen? Those details might seem small, but trust me, they can make a huge difference when the vet's trying to figure out the best course of action.
So, like, giving them a head start on solving the chocolate mystery?
Exactly. The more information they have, the better equipped they'll be to help your furry friend.
Okay, noted. Now, I know there's this whole thing about inducing vomiting in these situations. Should we be trying that at home? Asking for a friend?
I appreciate you asking for a friend, but honestly, that's a big no-no for cats. It's not like with dogs. Inducing vomiting in cats can actually do more harm than good, so leave that to the professionals.
Got it. No DIY vomit solutions. Leave it to the experts.
Exactly. They know what's best for your furry little buddy.
So, we've talked about what to do if disaster strikes, which is great. But what about preventing the chocolate chaos in the first place?
Okay, so prevention is key here. And the first step is understanding that cats are basically tiny, furry ninjas on a mission to explore every nook and cranny of your home.
Oh, tell me about it. If there's a crumb of food under the table, they'll find it.
Exactly. They're masters of sniffing out anything remotely interesting, especially if it smells like something delicious. So you gotta think like a cat burglar when it comes to chocolate.
So what? Like, install a vault for our chocolate bars.
Well, maybe not a vault, but you get the idea. Keep all chocolate out of reach. I'm talking high shelves, locked cabinets. Don't underestimate their determination.
And I did read in one of these articles, I think it was the one from Hill's Pet, that it's a good idea to store chocolate in airtight containers. Just in case those little noses get any ideas.
Absolutely. You don't want to make it any easier for them. And be extra careful around the holidays. Halloween candy, those chocolate Santas that mysteriously appear, they're all potential hazards for a curious cat.
It's like a minefield of temptation.
Right. So be vigilant, cat owners. Be vigilant.
Okay, noted. We've got to be on our A game, especially during those tempting times of the year.
You got it.
So we've covered a lot of ground here about chocolate being a big no-no for cats, but this whole conversation has got me thinking. It's one thing to say no chocolate, but are there other human foods that we should be keeping away from our feline overlords? Like, is this just the tip of the iceberg?
Oh, absolutely. And that's such an important point. Just because we humans can eat something doesn't mean it's safe for our furry friends to eat.
It's like our kitchens are full of these hidden dangers and we don't even realize it.
Exactly. It's like opening one of those Russian nesting dolls. You open one and there's another one inside. And another and another.
So how do we even begin to navigate this? Like, how do we know what's safe and what's not?
The ASPCA website is a fantastic resource. They have this whole comprehensive list of toxic and non-toxic plants and foods for pets. I always recommend it to my clients.
It's like the holy grail of pet safety information.
Exactly. Bookmark it, print it out, tattoo it on your arm, whatever you got to do.
I love it. So, dear listeners, consider that your homework assignment. Go forth, explore the ASPCA's list, and become the most knowledgeable cat parent on the block.
You got it. Knowledge is power when it comes to our pets.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, that about wraps up our deep dive on cats and chocolate. We covered a lot today, from why chocolate is so dangerous for our feline friends to what to do if they accidentally get their paws on this forbidden treat. And of course, we can't forget about prevention, so keep that chocolate safely out of reach and maybe do a little extra research to make sure your kitchen is a safe haven for your furry friend. Thanks for joining us for another fascinating deep dive. So it's like every time we open the fridge, we're basically playing a game of culinary Russian roulette with our cats.
And nobody wants to play that game.
Seriously, though, you've hit on something super important. This deep dive wasn't just about chocolate. It was about realizing there's a whole world of human foods that are totally off limits for cats. Right. Like, we've just scratched the surface here. So where do we even go from here? How can we possibly learn about all the other potential dangers lurking in our kitchens?
Well, lucky for us, we live in the age of information. One of my go-to resources is the ASPCA website. They have this awesome, super detailed list of toxic and non-toxic plants and foods for pets.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen that before. It's pretty comprehensive, right?
It's amazing, seriously. It covers everything. So if you're ever unsure about something, that's the first place I'd check. Print it out, bookmark it on your phone, whatever you got to do to keep it handy.
Consider it done. I'm adding it to my cat owner survival guide as we speak.
Perfect. Because a well-informed cat owner is a responsible cat owner. And let's be real, our feline overlords deserve nothing but the best.
They absolutely do. They might act like they don't care, but deep down they appreciate us keeping them safe and healthy.
Totally. And a healthy cat is a happy cat, which makes for a much more peaceful household for everyone involved, right?
Couldn't agree more. Well, I think we've definitely cracked the case on this chocolate mystery. Turns out, it's not so much a mystery as it is a hard and fast rule. Keep that chocolate far, far away from our furry feline friends.
Absolutely. No room for debate on that one.
And on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive.